while the Devils won 11 of their final 12. The lone loss to Maryland. They meet again, and let's meet the lineups with Jackie Bowe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome for tonight's semifinal championship game between the University of Maryland's Terrapins and the Duke University Blue Devils. Let's meet the starting lineups. At forward from Maryland, a senior listed at 6'9" from Frederick, Maryland, wearing number 44, Terrence Morris. At forward for Duke, a sophomore listed at 6'7" from Lake Oswego, Oregon, number 34, Mike Dunleavy. At forward for Maryland, a junior listed at 6'6" from Rainy, Louisiana, wearing number 1, Baron Mouton. At forward for Duke, a senior listed at 6'8" from Birmingham, Michigan, number 31, Shane Battier. At center for Maryland, a junior listed at 6'8" from Silver Spring, Maryland, number 35, Lonnie Baxter. At center for Duke, a sophomore listed at 6'11" from Tampa, Florida, number 20, Casey Sanders. At guard for Maryland, a sophomore listed at 6'3" from Miami Lakes, Florida, number 25, Steve Blake. At guard for Duke, a freshman listed at 6'1" from Slidell, Louisiana, number 21, Chris Duhan. At guard for Maryland, listed as a junior, 6'3" from Baltimore, Maryland, number 3, Juan Dixon. At guard for Duke, a sophomore listed at 6'2" from Plainsville, New Jersey, number 22, Jason Williams. The head coach for Maryland is Gary Williams. And the head coach for Duke is Mike Krzyzewski.
Mike Krzyzewski's 9th Final Four, Gary Williams, and his alma mater. He took over the program that was on life support and just short of the death penalty when he came back.
Well, Jim,
alma mater. How about these Packer points here, Billy?
The Baxter factor. This young man has played outstanding basketball in the tournament so far. Was the outstanding player in the West Regional. He is a force down low for Duke to handle. The good, bad, and the ugly is Morris. He had 1 for 11 against Georgetown. 0 field goals against George Mason. Came back with an 11-10 game with 10 rebounds against Stanford. This is what he's got to do. Almost complete. That's Shane Battier. What more could this young man do other than win a national title?
Just one more.
That's right. That's all that's setting him back. And Isaiah in blue, I'm talking about Jason Williams. Isaiah Thomas is the greatest all-around point guard I've seen in a Final Four. And let's see if Jason Williams can top him. Isaiah won a national crown at 81.
The Devils, in this spot right here, national semifinals, have won 5 straight. Advancing to the 90 final when they lost. Back-to-back titles, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, 1 and 2. And then losses to Arkansas in 94 in the final and Con 2 years back.
Well, you start talking about the Mike Krzyzewski legacy, and we have sitting right behind us John Wooden, and you can only think of 2 guys in regard to the Final Four, Wooden and Dean Smith, that are on the same caliber of this guy who's still so young.
He would win the championship Monday. He would tie Knight, trail only Wooden and Rupp for most championships by a coach, and Maryland coming out with the first possession.
Good steal on the jump, that time by Morris. Straight man-to-man by Duke.
Baxter puts it up, front of the rim.
Not a good shot, pretty good defense.
Sanders, confidence mounting every game.
We'll see how long Sanders stays out there, and before we see Boozer in this lineup. Sanders, as everybody realizes, has become the starting center since Boozer has been injured.
Inside, Duke trying to work it over to Sanders, and last touch by Maryland.
Not a good job by Sanders sealing to establish the passing lane for Battier. He stayed away from it, so a lot of times it's not the passer's fault.
Dunleavy, and inside comes Blake. He has played extremely well against the Devils in the 3 games this year. Outside, set up for the 3, and he got it to go. Terrence Morris.
The good, the bad, and the ugly starts out good, doesn't he? And has ability to step out and take that shot.
Williams.
Nothing there. Good rebound. Morris has now had a tap, a rebound, and a three.
Juan Dixon broke early. He wanted it. Wasn't there. Mouton swiped away by Sanders, but he gets it back.
Well, one of the things we thought, Jim, about Maryland is the fact that they have played Duke the 3 times and are not in awe of the Blue Devils. Actually, statistically, in the 3 games, they really lead, even though they only had 1 win.
Williams, and over the back, Sanders. Just like Arizona, the first 5 in this game, Maryland. So a good start for the Terrapins.
I really feel that it's an advantage to Maryland to play Duke as opposed to either Michigan State or Arizona because of this familiarity and the confidence they have.
Blake got the roll, got stuck, put it up on the rim, soft touch.
Big mistake by Duke. You never give up on the man who has the ball. He's the most difficult guy to handle, and Duke just gave up on Blake. We are going to see Boozer quickly in this game. They've got to establish an inside presence. There's nothing there for Duke.
Duhan to Dixon.
Push.
Going the other way? No, it's against Duke.
Dunleavy didn't have to push. Not a good foul. Mike Krzyzewski trying to work these officials early, but they're not seeing any part of it right there. That was an obvious foul. A lot of weapons right now offensively on the floor for Maryland.
Your point, but Duke being the opponent once they got here. People wondered about first-time jitters at a Final Four. The familiarity of the opponent certainly makes it a little bit easier, but here's the steal. Duhan looking for the Devils' first points. Back to Sanders, and he'll have a chance for a 3-point play.
Big break right there. Sanders not a guy that you want to have handling the ball on a fast break. He does not have the greatest hands on the move, but he makes a play here. Probably gets a break from the officials in the fact that the foul is taken before he releases, and he gets the basket as well as going to the line.
So Dixon commits it. Sanders pauses. Sophomore who came in after Boozer got injured in that game against Maryland, game number 2 that is, and missed 6. They won all 6 without him. He came back, did Boozer at the East Regional, and saw 22 minutes in each of the 2 games. UCLA and USC traveling.
Well, what we have here is a nice little change-up by Mike Krzyzewski, using Jason Williams on the high-scoring Dixon, which puts Duhan on Blake. Blake normally has the ball in his hands a lot. Dixon plays well without the ball, so this may save some of Williams' energy on the offensive end. And he's being guarded by Blake.
Dunleavy got Mouton to commit on the run and the tap, but Morris very aggressive here at the start. They're looking for the lob. It's not there. Dixon goes inside. Mouton, 7-footer, trying to defend, and he does.
Not a good idea to put that shot up over Sanders, who is a good shot blocker. Possession more important.
Boozer and James will be checking in on the next whistle.
We're really talking about 2 starters that are now playing on the bench. Boy, Duke getting a lot of calls early in this ball game. Good penetration by Williams. Duke knows how to get on the line as good as any team in college basketball.
Here's the road for Gary Williams' team, playing a lot of, well, local teams, if you will. Out west they had to go to play. George Mason could have gotten them.
Well, what do we got? 10 miles, a few miles, and plus lefty Drizel. So they really had a homecoming in that regard.
You know, you look at that first game, though. It was Williams to shoot a pair after the Mouton foul. James and Boozer checking in. It just, nothing proves more the fragile nature of this NCAA tournament than the fact George Mason had a great chance to beat Maryland.
Jim,
round 1.
How often have we seen, however, national champions who dodge something early in the tournament and eventually get through, and you say a basket here and they'd be out of it?
And last year,
so many times.
All the way to the final for Florida when Miller hit the winning shot at the buzzer to beat Butler.
I think of a James Madison, North Carolina game one year. It happens almost all.
What an assist, Blake, before he came down with it. Bounced it into Baxter.
That's that Baxter factor on the inside in the post. He has great hands, big bulk, much like we saw Randolph in the first game. That combination of bulk and soft hands.
Boozer right away. Oh, misses the layup.
Good idea now, though, that Duke has got a low presence offensively.
Blake to the corner. Dixon. Hit on the foul. He'll shoot 3.
Hit on the arm by Williams.
The Devils, meanwhile, came out of the East. They have feasted on the East through Krzyzewski's era, 30-1. Only Florida beat them when they were put in the East bracket. That was last year's Sweet 16. Monmouth and Missouri, and then UCLA and USC. All double-digit wins. The only team to ever win the championship with all double-digit wins in the tournament. You made the point earlier. Michigan State a year ago.
Exactly.
So they've done it through the first 4.
Here's a young man right here who has been incredible. He redshirted his first year at Maryland, and since that time has really come on to be one of the really great players in the country that hasn't received national recognition, but he's been first-team all-conference in the ACC the last 2 years.
Before today, Duke's biggest deficit in the tournament was 6 to Missouri. They're down 8 early to the Terps.
Calling a few pals? Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Hey guys, hanging out? I'll hang out.
Last week, this company's website went live. The employees are celebrating their success by gathering in revelry. They are exhilarated by the onslaught of new customers. Yet, no one has visited the server in days because no one has had to. The server's software is not offended because the software knows no loneliness, always reliable and never needy. Enterprise software from Microsoft.
I chose Fidelity's Power Street because they have some of the hottest technology.
I can't believe he said that.
He chose it because it's from Fidelity Investments.
I like the excitement of online trading.
He likes the security of knowing someone's behind him.
If I'm going to build a portfolio, I need a stock screener, complete view, and map of the market.
If he's going to build a portfolio, he's going to do it with the people who built 1 or 2 themselves.
To invest, call, click, or visit Fidelity.
I love you too.
Meet Aztec with new VersaTrack all-wheel drive. Meet Sam and Kate. They're about to whack some weeds.
Go! This is pretty sweet.
I think I see our off-ramp.
Next day,
Become mango fruits.
You got there.
It's a mango.
Mangoes? Mangoes. Do you think I got too many?
Go, mango!
Now during the Pontiac 75th anniversary, get $1,000 cash back on any 2001 Aztec and a camping package at no extra charge.
7 castaways left, 5 episodes to go. Bodies have reached the breaking point.
I don't think you're gonna make it.
All new Survivor, CBS Thursday.
Back in Minneapolis, where this is Duke senior Shane Battier's last shot at a championship ring. He says he's fueled by a memory back in 1999. He said, I remember how awful Trajan Langdon felt when we lost in the finals to Connecticut. That's something that motivates me every day. Armagatayan.
Thanks, Monty. Maryland certainly seems to have taken Gary Williams' pregame message to heart. He told him, forget about the fact that you're playing Duke and remember how well you've played the last 3 games. Jim?
Well, Duke so far, Armin, thank you. Only 1 field goal in their first 8 trips. 1 of 8 from the field of the Blue Devils.
So far, Steve Blake making Jason Williams give up that basketball. He hadn't penetrated by him yet.
Boozer, try this move, second time, and he gets it.
This team's complexion offensively changes completely now that Boozer's back in the ballgame. Gives him a low post presence, so defensively you've got to collapse a little bit to help out. That'll open up the 3-point shot.
Maryland working it, and it's Baxter. It only took him, by the way, 4 minutes for all 5 starters to score, and Baxter's on the board again.
And Baxter again, he'll force Boozer then to have to play some defensively. And there goes Williams at what he does so well.
Baxter, they're going to call that a goaltend. It looked like it was on the way up.
Oh, definitely. I thought that ball was on the way up. Great timing by Baxter. So quick off his feet for a big man. Now watch this.
How is that on the way down?
That was a very good block. Gary Williams agrees with us, but he doesn't get the call.
Jason Williams gets the call instead. It's Baxter on the blocks again. Flings it. There's Morris, rejected by Battier.
Morris trying to post up, seals Battier fairly nicely.
Too strong, tipped around, Baxter. Maryland getting second and third chances here. Traveling.
Jim, this might surprise you, but Maryland out-rebounded coming into this game. Duke by 31 rebounds in the 3 games they've played.
Get an interactive Final Four experience with fan polls, in-game features, audio clips, video highlights, more. The Internet's home of college basketball, cbs.sportsline.com, AOL keyword CBS Sportsline.
Now, if you're Duke, you might want Duhan to bring the ball up, except for one thing. He's being guarded by Dixon, who was the #1 guy in steals in the ACC in the year. And Duke not getting good looks from 3. Morris does a good job being able to stand out there with Battier.
Here comes an overrule. It's Maryland ball. First signal had gone Duke. That was Battier's first attempt. Now you make the call.
Well, there's no question what the call is.
At first, though, it was going the other way.
Duhan out.
James, second time inserted into the lineup.
James will be on Dixon now. James, a very good defensive basketball player. Matches up well with Dixon, even though Dixon has a little bit of quickness on him. But that puts Williams on Blake.
Blake, what an assist to Dixon.
And so far, Blake is not only negating Jason Williams' penetration, he's getting some of his own, keeping Williams occupied.
Block called on Baxter.
This Duke team, as we always know, a great team getting to the foul line. They've actually made 3 more foul shots than their opponents have taken all year, and they've actually gone to the line 290 times more than their opponents.
Martisic, a senior who's played in more games at Maryland, been a part of more victories than any Terrapin in history, checks in with Holden, Taj Holden, who can really shoot it. Put on quite a show here yesterday during the practice. Talking from midcourt. Dunleavy, too strong. Sanders, offensive glass, and he has given him a couple of big plays already.
That was a great job by Sanders. If he had tried to do anything else other than dunk the ball, he's got no chance.
Danny Miller also seeing his first play for Maryland.
Very valuable sub here. A good ball handler, an experienced starter most of his career.
Started all of last year, did Miller. There's Dixon. Holden tucks it in.
There is that touch, Jim. Holden actually misjudged his leap that time, but that great touch of his put it in. Duke has not made a 3 yet. That is where they are so expert.
Battier traveled.
Give Holden credit for a little defensive play. Watch right here as Taj Holden actually mistimes things, but there is that beautiful touch he has right off the fingertips, just as you see on a beautiful fadeaway jump shot. Had the great touch.
He could shoot a straight-up jump shot without a one-step start to it all from midcourt. Incredible form. And the Terrapins have brought in Drew Nicholas, number 12, for the first time. This is a deep team,
particularly in the front court.
Blake, what a pass. Martisic gets it back. Second try, yes.
Now Martisic's greatest game was in his freshman year when he led the Terrapins to a victory over #1 North Carolina.
How about this, Billy? Maryland's missed 9 shots. They've retrieved the 9 shots 7 times, 7 offensive boards.
Well, they think they're Michigan State, huh?
Battier.
Tough shot.
Tipped up and tipped out. Nicholas.
Dunleavy has had 3 easy chances today. Didn't get any of them to go.
Step out 3, and Blake puts Maryland up double digits. Well, it was already, but now 13.
Mike Krzyzewski asking for a walk, but getting no calls here.
Timeout, Duke.
We didn't have to offer side impact airbags on all our new Saturns. We didn't have to make those airbags the kind that are designed to help protect your head, just like the ones that come in Mercedes and Volvo. We didn't have to. That said, we did.
South to south pit, stroke, check, check. Northtown Networks, the internet can be whatever you need it to be. No matter who you are or where you are. So tell us, what do you want the internet to be?
Right now, over me.
It's drive time. Get to your Goodyear retailer, where right now you'll get a $50 fast credit when you buy 4 selected tires on your Goodyear card account. That's $50 you'll save right on the spot. Qualifying tires include selected Goodyear Eagles, Goodyear Wranglers, and the new AquaTread 3. The $50 fast credit offer, only from Goodyear. For complete details from the retailer nearest you, call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Bring in your appetite, people. Applebee's all-you-can-eat riblets are back. Our one-of-a-kind smoked riblets. All you can eat. It's got to be Applebee's. Eating good, eating good in the neighborhood.
Look, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Chevy Trucks, eye vision. What do you have here, Billy?
Well, ball's going to go inside. As I said, they have a presence offensively when Boozer's in the low post. And you can see Maryland drops down. That opens up the outside shot. Ball goes back into Boozer, so his inside presence pays off for Duke University. A nice move.
Haven't been a lot of good moments, though, for the Devils. Down 13, been out-rebounded 16-4.
Well, two things really come out to you as well, Jim. No three-point shooting, and basically Jason Williams, who's not in the ball game right now, has been very quiet on penetration. Blake did a great job on him.
Away from the ball.
Martisic down on the inside. Cheap foul.
And we have the under 12 official timeout.
Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
With the mounting evidence linking cigarettes to cancer, heart disease, and death, I want you to hear the tobacco industry's plan to address this serious problem. Effective immediately, we're issuing a cigarette recall till we can sell a cigarette that poses no health risk. Because there are two things the tobacco industry cares about: your health and your trust. Thank you.
April Fools.
There's a new 270 horsepower beast on the road that's more powerful than Jeep Grand Cherokee or any SUV in its class. Introducing the powerful and luxurious Bravada by Oldsmobile. Now get a 5-year, 60,000-mile GM protection plan on the 2002 Bravada and every new Oldsmobile. Oldsmobile, backed by GM.
Easy boy.
Sunday, May 13th, Marilyn Monroe will reveal all of her secrets.
Here I am, President's wind-up sex toy.
Blonde, CBS Sunday, May 13th.
One thing about this series this year, Billy, there have been some wild swings in every game.
Absolutely. Of course, these teams love to play a frenetic type pace. Maryland came back from 14 down to tie this game in the ACC tournament, had it tied and then lost in the last minute and 3 seconds. I mean, 1 and 10 seconds.
Not only that, they had scored the first 10 points of the game, then found themselves down 14.
We see these coaches playing a little game here. Williams going back in. Blake sits down while Williams out of the game. Nice move by Gary Williams.
Thursday on CBS, find out what more than 20 million viewers a week already know, that CSI is the hottest new show on television, and don't miss it. CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, Thursday after Survivor. One more for Battier. That was called on Holden. That's the first point for the National Player of the Year in almost every poll. Williams comes back.
And let's see if Blake comes back in this game with Williams there. Did such a good job, and he has Williams' numbers so far. Sanders tries to tap it back and can't get it.
And quickly and out of reach for Holden.
Not a bad idea with a 12-point lead to go for that. Holden was breaking. He just had a bad angle for the pass. And now it's going to be Dixon, one of the top defenders in the ACC, playing Jason Williams. Nicholas on Duhan.
3 Maryland starters will be checking back into the lineup momentarily. Battier steps in. The tee was deflected.
Great job by Martisic coming out, realizing Battier. Here's Dixon going to the floor.
Needs some help. Into the air, and Miller unable to grab it.
First time Duke was able to get this game going their way. No call on that jump shot. This game is wild.
Martisic underneath to secure it. This time settle it down.
But Jim, the 7-footer went out on Battier, who had faked Holden up in the air. A good defensive play. You don't see Duke offensively playing their game at all. You can see Battier knowing Holden will take that shot, so he's playing him tight.
Great pass. Martisic to Miller, and Maryland's on the board again. Largest lead of the game. It's 14.
I haven't seen Duke, and primarily because Jason Williams is not getting his game going.
What a shot. Left-handed off the glass for Dunleavy.
One of the DD men. Dunleavy is growing into that 6'9" body of his. So fluid. Maryland seems more confident in pace than does Duke.
Dixon. Three-pointer.
Maryland not a great three-point shooting basketball team, but Dixon certainly knows how to take it, as does Holden.
Williams to Sanders in traffic. Comes out with it. Dunleavy open. He'll fire it. All kinds of action underneath.
And there was Sanders inside with not the great hands. Didn't have a chance to put things off. It's going to be a foul on Maryland, it looks like.
Yes, on Drew Nicholas.
And Duke University not able to get the penetration and kickouts that they normally have in a game, which makes them a big part of their offense.
They bring back Baxter, Morris, and Blake, and Mouton.
And Blake goes right over to say hello to his former roommate. Jason, how you doing? I'm back out on the floor. He has really done a fine job against him so far.
Yeah, in fact, the last 2 matchups against Williams, he's had 11 assists in each game. Tough pass, and Mouton chases it down. Dixon's taken middle, and a reach-in. James saved it for Duke.
Much as the same case we saw in the first game with Tom Izzo, I think Mike Krzyzewski's looking out on the floor and saying, I don't recognize this team that's playing. Duke really out of sync here. And give a lot of credit to Maryland, just as in the case with Arizona. They're making them out of sync.
Blake and Baxter had his back turned. Battier almost dragged that foot.
Smart play on his part, though, because his teammates ran away from the pass.
Williams gives it up last second. James comes right back to him in the corner. And Battier's open in the lane for 2.
You see what Maryland's doing defensively? They're running right out and challenging the three-point shot, allowing Duke to pump fake and drive around, but they're taking away the 3. Jason Williams might have got by with one right there. He's got the 1 foul to start off with, and if you're Mike Krzyzewski, you need that young man on the floor. Dixon's got speed over James.
Baxter helps him with a pick, and he takes it down with another 3.
You're not going to be able to hedge move with Boozer on a Dixon. Dixon's too quick for him when he steps out. He just goes right around him on a curl.
11 for Dixon. Tough pass. Mouton got a hand on it. Maryland makes the steal. Baxter's up ahead, and they find him. Oh, and he is stuffed. They're going to call the off in the first game.
Boy, this is a great block. How can that be a foul?
There was no contact.
No contact at all on that with the body or anything else. That's as clean a block as you can have. Mike Krzyzewski, when he is not really working the referees, you know he's starting to get steam. You can fry an egg on his forehead right now. And he's saying, who's the foul on? Oh, now they say the foul's on Battier. He wasn't even in the play.
Over here, Ted Hillary, one of the officials, points to Dunleavy. They're going to go over and make sure that this is corrected.
Without question, it has to be Dunleavy, but it certainly wasn't his foul at all because he made a clean block. In any case, it'll be Baxter, the factor, on the line. Did you notice, Jim, his great hands on that play? In the open court, he just can catch the ball so well.
So Dunleavy, even though it was all ball, gets charged. And Baxter, the West Regional MVP, will shoot one more. So 2 on Dunleavy, he's out.
Well, he was 7-16 against Georgia State, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 26 and 14 against Georgetown, and 24 and 6 against Stanford.
Big first half. Takes it home.
The young man transferred from Tulane, having a big first half for this team, a big lift.
19 points in front, and one shot, and Duke gets it back. I was about to say one and done. They're going the other way.
Jason Williams having a hard time getting rid of Blake. Blake is so used to him. He stays right in front of him. He always tries to take him off the three-point line and makes him dribble penetrate. Boozer open with Baxter on him.
Kicks it out, Battier. Much needed three. Looks like Morris may have got a hand on it. Back out, Williams. He's off the front of the rim. James with the putback. He knows all about doing something like that around the basket against Maryland.
That's almost a replay of ACC tournament semifinal. A putback for a basket. And a pass to the finals where Duke wore out North Carolina. For their third straight ACC tournament championship.
And that's against James.
You know, you can make a question here, Jim, that almost every call that's been made could have gone the other way.
Maryland doubling up Duke.
The more you travel, the more you notice space is at a premium. And the more you'll appreciate United's Economy Plus, with up to 5 extra inches of legroom. One more thing we're doing to make it easier to feel united. There's a new 270 horsepower beast on the road that's more powerful than Jeep Grand Cherokee or any SUV in its class. Introducing the powerful and luxurious Bravada by Oldsmobile. Now get a 5-year, 60,000-mile GM protection plan on the 2002 Bravada and every new Oldsmobile. Oldsmobile, backed by GM.
This company was showing its age, but it discovered a new market opportunity. Alas, its data was locked in systems that were showing their age, too. The company feared they would have to replace the systems. Instead, their new software allowed them to quickly transform them. The software is neither humble nor vain with its facelift. Always adaptable and eternally youthful. Enterprise software from Microsoft.
Why don't you get us something to cool this fire down?
I got just the thing.
That won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
That's not that bad.
We're backstage with David Copperfield rehearsing his most dangerous challenge yet.
As the fire touches me, I'm pretty much finished.
Watch as he steps into the tornado of fire. Live, CBS Tuesday.
Back in Minneapolis with our singular Skycam. Duke, the first team to go to the Final Four with 2 All-Americas in 25 years. The last to do that, Indiana, in 76.
Scott May, Kent Benson.
But the All-Americas are really struggling here for the Blue Devils at the start. Battier and Williams each 1 for 5 from the field, Billy.
And Jim, in the second half against Southern California, they went cold as well. So right now, in basically what amounts to a game, they're 2 for 13 and 5 for 18, Battier and Williams. So really have gone cold.
And a push-off called on Williams, his second. Thursday on Survivor, 7 castaways left, 5 episodes to go. Don't miss an all-new Survivor Thursday here on CBS, followed by CSI.
Blake got hit in the side of the head. He's holding his ear, but I guess he's okay.
For a moment, it looked like he tried to call timeout.
Yeah, he called it.
Call for a palm. Before he took the inbound pass, he signaled for a timeout. He is really in pain.
He's got that ear ringing right now. I want to see if Gary Williams will get him out of there. The officials are not stopping. Jason Williams goes right on by.
Follow-up, no. Back to Battier. Blake reaches in to help force the steal.
Mouton, who's having a big first half.
Look at his speed, lead to 2. Blake looking to the bench. He wants out.
And what Gary Williams is trying to do is get a free timeout by having the official realize there's a man injured out here. But no help.
To the corner, James.
Duke cannot buy a 3.
Now to Baxter, to Blake. He'll tough it out on this possession. With a 3, you bet. And I'll tell you,
the Blue Devils are in trouble. Now Blake, with that bad ear, Jim, makes a steal because of it, and then he hits a 3.
The Blue Devils' ears are ringing right now, too. They are down 22 with 6:40 to go in the first half. James, yes, much needed.
The 5th-year senior, part of 5 ACC regular season championships. That is something will never be duplicated. Trying to bring him back.
Oh, and a near steal, Duhan. Blake off the floor, off Duhan. And Blake will get to come out at last. Nicholas replaces him. How did he get hurt?
Well, you see, he'll come right back here. He gets hit on the shoulder blade by Baxter and really gives him a ring. But because of that, he made the big steal on Battier on the other end when he was holding his ear and then came down and hit the 3. I think he'll be all right. He'll feel a lot better when he looks up at the scoreboard and sees how his team is dominating this game.
Nicholas drives, and it's a block call. Block call against Boozer.
That puts Nicholas on the line. Mike Krzyzewski looking at a Duke team that he has never seen before.
Access live head-to-head team and player stats through this interactive telecast available on Ultimate TV. So Drew Nicholas, he had quite a game late in the season at Virginia. Double-double, 16 and 10. 10 assists, that is. So a lot of guys can come in and give this team a boost.
Yes, a lot of flexibility off that bench, and we talked about the front court where they have a lot of depth and size. Nicholas gives them an opportunity. He can play either the 1 or the 2 position at the guard spot, so that makes Dixon very flexible as well. Blake sitting over there, going to get a nice rest, not be in any foul trouble. And again, Jason Williams on the bench, so Duke not able to use the man that's really put them on the offensive thrust in this tournament very well here in the first half.
And again, the lead is doubled. 6 minutes to go in the half.
As I said before, Maryland couldn't have had a better opponent for them in the Final Four, a team that has a great reputation, but a team that they have played well all year long and think they can beat.
Battier, baseliner. Oh, look at Dunleavy.
6'9" guard.
He was way up there.
He really was. But you can see the Maryland defensive strategies to take away all 3-point shots, even if it means giving up some penetration.
Mouton, right back to him. And he wasn't really looking for it. Morris had a good idea. Duhan pull-up.
Yeah, but you see where the hand was? Right on his shot.
Here
4 against 1.
Morris, blocked by Battier. Charge called against Maryland.
We will see the missed shot right here, and Dunleavy way above the rim and does a great job not putting his hand in the cylinder. Terrific job on his part. He was above that rim. What, Jim, would you say, a foot and a half?
He was right above the window. Right on it, anyway.
And here we have again Jason Williams sitting. Which reminds me a little bit. In 1981, Bob Knight sat Isaiah Thomas when a guy by the name of Ethan Martin was taking care of him in the first half of the LSU Indiana game. But it didn't take Isaiah much time to get started in the championship game against North Carolina.
Boozer with the bucket for the Blue Devils. And James whistled for that one.
Nate James had the right idea. We've seen a lot of dangerous cross-court passing out front by teams in both games today.
Blake back on the floor. How about his action?
He has been outstanding. There was that bounce pass, and it only works when you got a big man that can catch the ball like that. That was a tough ball to catch. Another one inside. There's Dixon moving well without the ball. There's that jumper that Blake hit after he'd been hit in the ear. Young man from Miami having a terrific game as usual against Duke.
Barnisic and Holden come back as a pair again for Baxter and Morris.
You know, we talked about the Williams-Blake matchup. Even in the game where Williams went crazy and brought Duke with 8 points when they were down by 10 with a minute to go, came back with those 8 points in 14 seconds. Blake had fouled out of that game, Jim, and up to that point, Jason Williams had 11 points and 10 turnovers. So I realized Duke won that game, and Williams had the big stats when it was all over. But when Blake was on the floor, Williams was in trouble.
He has forced some ugly numbers in that department.
He sure has.
Blake and the Williams matchup all season.
And Duke players are going to have to make the adjustment that they're not going to get the threes. They've got to penetrate and kick out. And there
nice move by James, very aggressive to the hole.
The penetration will definitely be there. You can see what Maryland has decided to do. Duke will have to adjust.
Dixon short on the three. It's James again.
With Gary Williams, you got to get a little nervous right now because Duke is the kind of team can make a great run.
Mouton prevented that bucket inside. Tie up, arrow, Duke.
Dunleavy wanted a timeout. He gets it. He had the arrow anyway.
One official again. First indicated tie-up, but instead, timeout. Duke ball when we come back. Packer back here at the Final Four. Arizona in the title game with its 19-point win over Michigan State. Second time in NCAA history, 2 teams from the ACC in the Final Four. We mentioned that earlier. Virginia, Carolina, back in '81. But it's actually the first time